Hey guys, we got fun, entertaining stories for you today. So this one we're gonna focus on petty revenge. The first one's titled, Total Wine would not sell me a specific wine I drove 60 miles to that location for because they claimed that I was someone else who left and they needed an ID for that person. So I got revenge by making a mobile order worth of $10,000 worth of alcohol, and I never intend to pick it up. What's best is that I get a full refund if I don't pick it up in 10 days, and I have a picture of the receipt, which I'll show you at the end of the story. This whole situation started was when I was looking for a specific wine to pair with my food. The closest Total Wine was over 60 miles drive. It was currently storming out, but I still wanted it because it was the holidays and most likely I needed to be locked up inside due to the snowstorm. Anyways, I go in and pick up the wine and get some other stuff for the holiday parties. I was in there for maybe an hour and it comes time to check out and the cashier asked me for my ID. So I gave it to her. And then she tells me that she needs to see the ID of the other person I was with. So now I'm confused because I'm currently alone and there's no one else with me. And then she says, well, I need to go speak to the manager. So I said, okay, fine. So he comes out and tells me that she told him I was with someone and they needed to come back and bring their ID or they won't sell it to me. I told him I wasn't with anyone. He asks to see my ID and says, well, unfortunately, you look too young. At this point, I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, you have to come back tomorrow alone. I find it extremely disrespectful to tell someone they look too young while they're holding your ID in their hands. Not to mention, I've been shopping at this exact location for about 4 years and I never had any problems until now. So I told him how I drove there and been shopping there for years and I even have a second form of ID. And he said with a big smirk and a smile saying, no, I can't accept it. So I left there very angry and it was late at night at 9 p.m. And then I had another hour and a half drive back through the rainstorm. I was home pissed off all night, but I still needed the wine to pair with the food for the holiday party. So I went to a different Total Wine that was 70 miles away and they were extremely nice to me. They didn't even ID me and I was able to have an enjoyable experience. Usually after when you purchase product from a store, they will send you an email asking a feedback on your experience. Usually I always leave a positive one because it usually is positive, except for that other location which I decided to leave a negative feedback on. I wrote exactly what happened and then the next day I got a call from the store manager. It turns out the guy who said I looked too young was an assistant manager. Well, he was much more nicer than the actual store manager who called me. She was extremely rude and condescending. She told me that she reviewed the cameras and that I walked in with someone at the same time and that made us a party. I told her I didn't know who the other person was that walked in with me and she said that didn't matter. So apparently people can't walk in Total Wine at the same time as you and not be considered as a party. Then she said she saw the employees were watching me and that the person left 30 minutes before I went to check out and they saw it. She also said that it was store policy that a party can't check out without the other party's ID. This made me extremely angry because even if that was the case and that is their policy, at least you should offer me an apology for the inconvenience or something like that. Not just to call me and argue and stir the pot. This left a very bitter taste in my mouth. So I decided to look at their store policy, and the policy clearly states that it only applies to parties at checkout. So this policy doesn't even apply to me because I randomly walked in with someone else at the same time. So I was hanging out with my friends at the holiday party drinking and telling them this crazy story that happened at Total Wine. Well, I got mad and I decided to enforce their own policy on them and made a $10,000 order for the soonest possible pickup time, which they promise has to be within 3 hours. So I made sure to order the cheapest, heaviest bottles I can think of so it takes up the most amount of space in their curbside and made sure to only order 1 or 2 of each so they couldn't just give me a case that they had to get individual ones. And I ordered the whole supply of Tito's since it's popular and it's the holidays. And I know people are going to look for it, and at this Total Wine, it has a curbside order section in front of the counter where everyone can see it. And I know when customers saw it, they would ask for it and they would have to explain how someone ordered all 238 bottles and that they will be out of stock. And then they'll probably get grouchy and ask for the store manager. So I loaded up my cart and then placed the order. I got the email confirmation that specified that you have to wait for a pickup confirmation email and that pickup times aren't guaranteed. So I thought for sure they were either going to cancel this order or call or something. So 5 hours later, I got the pickup email. It took longer than I expected, but I was still surprised. Then later, I got another pickup email. Then 3 days later, I got a second reminder. Then 7 days later, I got the final notice email. And then 10 days went by and I got a phone call. It was that rude lady manager, acting completely like a different person this time, asking when I'm coming for the order. At this point, I think she knew I was messing with them because it's been 10 days and she knew the name from the previous feedback thing and she requested me by name on the phone because it was the name on the order. And I responded to her, yeah, I went to pick it up and was told I looked too young, so I went to the other Total Wine and picked up my stuff there. And then she got mad and said, are you seriously not going to pick this up? I just said, nah, and then she hung up. So I called the customer service hotline since I didn't receive refund to my original payment within 7 days guaranteed, and they made sure they canceled the order and refunded me back so the store doesn't get credit for the sale. For our next story is titled, Can't Respect Other People by Sharing Their Photos Without Consent? Well, you won't get to share them anymore. My father is the most obnoxious user of social media I have ever known. He frequently posts private information and photos about his wife and kids without our consent on his public Facebook and his TikTok. What's even worse, he frequently photographs women in public, sometimes in compromised positions, and posts their photos without their consent or knowledge. Think of a woman in bikinis sunbathing on the beach. Yes, I understand how totally disgusting and borderline illegal this is. I told him time and time again this is inappropriate and he needs to stop. But he just won't stop. He revels in the reaction he gets online from these posts, every like, every view, and every follow. We had so many yelling matches about this, I lost count. I repeatedly used my own account to report these posts, especially of those unsuspecting women, and I pray and hope they get taken down. He recently asked me to help him fix something on his phone. I noticed he had his Facebook app open and was in the middle of posting another photo. So I told him I need to consult something on my laptop and walked away. I proceeded to privatize all his accounts, delete a bunch of photos, and modified his profile settings so no one could see his past and future posts. Then I closed all the apps, fixed whatever he wanted me to do, and then returned the phone to him like nothing ever happened. I'm not sure how long this will stick before he realizes and changes the settings back. He's not that most tech savvy, so I'm hoping he'll spend a good long time while no one is liking all of his crap. For our last story today, it's titled, Body Shaming Me? I'll let you taste your own toxicity. I'm from Southeast Asia, where it's very common for relatives to comment on your appearances, aka body shaming, especially toward your nieces. Some of my aunts really like to comment on my weight. My BMI is categorized as overweight. But I've been actively trying to lose weight by switching to healthier foods. I lost over 8 pounds so far and my current BMI is only 2.2 pounds away from normal weight. Every time there's a family gathering, these aunts would always surround me and said, wow, are you aware you're getting even fatter every time I see you? You're not that pretty, so getting fatter makes you even uglier. You should start dieting because no guys like ugly girls, let alone ugly fat girls. On one of my family gatherings, I had a really bad day, thus my mood isn't the greatest. Then they surround me like vultures, starts yapping the same crap. I got so angry, I snapped and said, wow, aunties, upon closer look, you're actually fatter as well, and then walked away. They were all so shocked and fell into silence. I know it's not nice to do the same crap as they did, but just from seeing their reaction, I'm just going to reply to their comments with what they said to me right back in their own faces. After a few more family gatherings, then suddenly, I'm not fat nor I'm ugly anymore. Huh, go figures. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed those stories. Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Feel free to subscribe and check out all the other stories we have on this channel. I'll see you on the next one.